Welcome to Factful Finance. Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 Americans live with a disability, and yet only 1 in 10 homes are fully accessible? When it comes to securing accessible housing, the financial path can seem overwhelming, but with the right strategies, it's absolutely possible. Today, we're diving into saving strategies specifically tailored for accessible housing, because everyone deserves a home that suits their needs. Let's explore how you can make this dream a reality. Before we jump into the specifics, a quick disclaimer. The information provided here is for educational purposes only. Listing products or apps doesn't imply endorsement, and you should always consult a financial professional for personalized advice. Now, when it comes to saving for accessible housing, there are a few critical factors you need to understand and plan for, whether you're buying or modifying a home. Accessible housing can involve additional costs for ramps, wider doorways, or even specialized bathroom setups. These aren't small expenses, but they're manageable with the right approach. Let's break this down into actionable steps. Step 1. Understand your specific needs and costs. The first step is understanding what exactly you need in an accessible home. For example, let's say Liam, a young professional, needs a home with wheelchair accessibility. He will require wider doorways, a ramp at the entrance, and potentially a fully accessible bathroom. It's important to itemize these requirements and estimate the costs. Do some research or consult with an expert in accessible home design. You might be looking at anything from a few thousand to tens of thousands of dollars in modifications. Step 2. Explore financial assistance options. While saving is crucial, it's not always enough on its own. You may be eligible for assistance programs designed to help people with disabilities modify their homes or find accessible housing. Government programs like the Section 504 Home Repair Program provide grants and loans for people with disabilities to make their homes accessible. You can also look into local grants and nonprofits that may offer financial support in your area. Emma, for example, was able to use a combination of a low-interest loan and a grant to modify her home for accessibility. Step 3. Start saving with a purpose. Once you understand the scope of your needs and the potential assistance available, it's time to focus on saving. There are a few methods that can work well here, such as setting up a dedicated savings account specifically for your accessible housing needs. Automating savings with small, regular transfers into that account, just like how you would save for an emergency fund or retirement. Budgeting with intention. A great method for this would be the 50-30-20 rule. For example, if Noah earns $4,000 a month, he could allocate 20% of that, $800, towards his home modifications every month, after taking care of essentials and discretionary spending. Step 4. Maximize your savings with tax advantages. Look into tax credits and deductions that may help you. For instance, some home improvements related to accessibility could qualify as tax deductions. These might include things like adding ramps or accessible bathrooms. So it's worth consulting with a tax professional to see what's deductible and how to maximize your savings. Step 5. Consider home equity loans or lines of credit. If you already own a home, and you're considering making accessibility upgrades, a home equity loan or HELOC could be a useful strategy. This lets you borrow against your home's value at a lower interest rate than personal loans or credit cards. Let's say Oliver has built some equity in his home over the past few years. He could tap into that equity to fund the modifications he needs. Step 6. Keep your eyes on the long term. Accessible housing is an investment that can improve your quality of life, but it's also essential for long-term financial health. Think about how these investments will impact your future living situation, whether it's staying in your current home or selling it later. For example, Benjamin and Charlotte have decided to modify their current home for accessibility because they plan to age in place. They view these upgrades as not just a necessity, but as a smart long-term investment for their future. Now, let's talk about the real-world application of these strategies. Imagine you're starting from scratch. Let's say Mia and Elijah are a couple who are planning to buy their first accessible home. They're in their early 30s, and while they're financially stable, they haven't yet saved for a home purchase. Using a combination of the saving strategies we've discussed, they could budget, apply for financial assistance, and tap into long-term financing options to make this dream a reality. By setting clear goals, taking advantage of resources, and saving with intention, you can move steadily toward accessible housing without feeling overwhelmed by the financial burden. Remember, the key is to start as early as possible. Every little bit you save gets you closer to making your living situation more accessible. What's the first step you'll take towards securing accessible housing? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Factful Finance, and don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss any future insights that could help you with your financial journey. We think you'll enjoy the next video we have lined up. It may just give you some fresh ideas for tackling other financial goals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.